Hey guys, it's Krista Tyus here, and in today's video, I want to go over how you can drastically increase your income in 2019, well after tax season, whether you are a tax preparer, bookkeeper, accountant, CPA, or financial coach. I want to show you the step-by-step methodology that I went through to actually help increase my income. So just to give you a little backstory, I didn't come from like a traditional tax and accounting office. I never worked in a CPA office. I never interned under a CPA or any accounting firm. So really, I was taking my corporate background as well as some college, and I was drawing upon that experience to really help me grow my very own tax and accounting business. And honestly, I didn't know or have a clue how to run a tax and accounting business. And I've been speaking to a few of you guys, and you are pretty much in the same boat where I was. You don't have like a formal background. You might be an accountant, let's just say at a small corporate firm or maybe even a Fortune 500 company, but you don't have necessarily, experience of watching how the back end processes flow of an actual accounting firm or actual tax business, right? So everything that I've learned throughout the past 10 plus years of running this business came from just blood, sweat, and tears, just actually bumping my head and figuring it out along the way. And one experience that I went through, I had got caught a random call from a potential client, and they had found my business card, and they were like, yeah, we want you to do our bookkeeping and our accounting for us. And so after, understanding what their business model was and actually going to meet the client, it was a big business. It was a multi-million-dollar business. And, at that time, that was like my first bookkeeping. That would have been my first bookkeeping or accounting client. And again, I didn't have like any formal education. I was book smart, right? So I read all the books, I did all of the computer trainings, but I really hadn't actually done a client. And that's where you kind of get that real world experience, when you actually get in there and you work with live clients. And so I was completely intimidated. And this client was going to be paying me about $1,500 per month, and I turned down the offer. I was like, I don't think I can handle this. I don't think, I'm ready for this type of work because I don't have the experience. And I was completely honest with them. I just told them that I didn't think that I was ready to take on their bookkeeping for their business. And I remember driving home, kicking myself because I'm like, oh my God, I just turned down a $14,000, $500 per year client. Like I just legit turned down a $15,000 per year client. And I was so upset that I didn't have the confidence. I was so upset that I didn't have like the experience to even want to take on that type of client. And I was almost to tears, okay? And I remember calling one of my good friends, Javay, and she's like, why didn't you take on this job, And she kind of asked me some questions. She was like, has there ever been a time where you were new in a business and you didn't know, or you were new in a job and you didn't know how to perform the functions of that job? It was your first time actually doing that job. And I said, of course, yeah. And she was like, you figured it out, right? You learned along the way. And when she said that, it was such an aha moment. I was like, you know what, you're right. Like, I've started multiple jobs in my life. I've been working since I was like 14 years old, probably younger, because my mom used to make me go to work with her. And there's been many instances over my life where I started a job and I mastered the skills. When I was at corporate America, I got a raise and a promotion every single year. So you don't go into every endeavor actually knowing and being proficient at that job. Like nobody starts off just knowing everything, right? So one of the lessons that she taught me was just learn as you go. Take the client and learn as you go. So one, that would be my advice to you. If you already have like some sort of working knowledge of accounting, bookkeeping, taxes, take on clients because that is how you learn, but also have something in your back pocket to draw upon where you can actually reinforce your knowledge and increase your skills. So this is what I really wanted to do a video on today, is because when you increase your skill level, when you actually increase the knowledge that you have, you're able to help your clients at a much higher level, and you're also able to make more money because you're helping them at a much higher level, right? So if you have a client that just requires basic reconciliations, well, you probably are only going to be able to charge, a few $100s per month for that particular client. But if you have a client that's a multi-million-dollar client and they have intercompany transfers, they have several different entities up under a parent company, if you know exactly how to handle those types of transactions, then you're able to provide better service, you're able to charge more at the end of the day. If you're able to actually advise your clients and interpret their financial statements and advise them on how to make better decisions in their business that's actually going to help them make or save money, you're able to charge more money. So here's where I started off, and hopefully you guys can see my screen. Can you guys see it? Okay. So I started off just with the basic tax prep, okay? So you got your basic tax prep. Now, when you have basic tax prep, you're only able to charge so much money for it, right? Because, this is the type of stuff that people could typically do on TurboTax if they wanted to, right? So for basic tax prep, like when I first started off, I was charging anywhere between $75 and $250, okay? And let me tell you, I went broke. I went broke my very first year in the business. I had got almost 100 tax clients my very first year in the business, my very first year starting from zero, starting from scratch. But I still was broke because I was only charging between $75 and $250. And I would say my average fee probably was about maybe $100, okay? And when you only charge, $100 for tax preparation, and you do, I think I did 88 clients that year, you're making $8,000. You can't live off that money. That money is gone literally in a few months, if not the first month, depending on how your lifestyle is. Okay, so I was only able to charge that much because I feel like I wasn't providing a lot of value. I feel like, I felt like I didn't really know, I was competing against TurboTax, which, by the way, sidebar, TurboTax is not your competition. If people want to go to TurboTax, let them go. Those are not your clients. You do not compete against TurboTax. Know your value. But that's a whole nother video that I'm going to do for you guys. But I was only able to make that much because I didn't know how to position my value, because really there was no value there. Because the same tax return that I charge $75 for, that person can do their tax return on their own, and TurboTax at the time probably was only charging like $40 for that tax return, okay? So here's how the transition occurred. So I went from basic tax prep to, and I'll start over here. So that was basic, and then I was doing basic bookkeeping, right? And I think I was only charging like $150 to maybe $200 per month, okay? And again, I felt like I wasn't providing a lot of value. I was like, oh, I'm just going in here reconciling. I'm just categorizing transactions, and, it's only taking me an hour or two or even a few hours, but I felt like I wasn't providing a lot of value. So I only felt like I could charge about $150 to $200 per month. And a lot of you guys, you are in that same boat. You're like, I don't know how to charge that. I don't know how to charge $1,000 per month for bookkeeping, because you're still in that basic mind frame of, I'm only doing reconciliations, or I'm only doing earned income tax or child tax credit, or I'm only doing Schedule A, right? So here's where I made the transition. So I went from basic tax prep and bookkeeping, okay? And my client avatar, let's just say for $75 to $250, my client avatar, like I said, was like a EITC. They were Schedule A. I mean, the basic stuff that you see day in and day out, okay? Now, I went from basic tax prep and bookkeeping to, I'm going to just say, value added services, okay? And value added services is where you're actually helping people make or save money. Okay, you're actually advising them on strategy. You're actually helping them interpret their financial statements. You're actually helping them see to the future, actually look to the future on what they can potentially expect as far as revenue, as far as net cash flows. When you actually learn how to be a value added advisor, you're able to charge more money, okay? And so this is where I was at. So I went from just doing a basic return to now I had the confidence. Now I had clients that were making, 1 million plus, okay? These are 1 million plus clients in gross revenue. And I position myself as a value advisor, right? And I was able to actually help them make more money, which meant for them, which was strategy, right? You have strategy on, like for instance, expenses, on cash flow. So if you're helping them make more money, you're actually showing them, okay, so based upon last quarter and based upon what you can reasonably expect to do over the next quarter, here's where you need to cut in expenses. Here's where we need to increase pricing. You actually need to be able to know how your client's business run, like the intimate details of how their business run, so you can actually help them make better decisions. So a big key thing that I did was I went from over here, the basic, I went from after the fact, okay? So after the fact is after they've already, done what they've done for the year, after they've already received their W-2s, their 1099s, after they've already, spent the money last month. Now you're just reconciling, right? Now you're just typing everything in the system. This is after the fact advising, right? When you're just taking the information and you're putting it into the system for them, right? And you're only able to charge so much money. Now, don't get me wrong, you can still make some good money with after the fact advising, right? But there's only so much you can do and so much value you can actually give your clients because it's already done. They've already spent the money. They've already received their W-2s, their 1099s. They've already allocated their expenses. They've already ran payroll. So everything is done. It's set in stone. You can't get it back. You can't go back in the past and change what they've done with after the fact advising. Now, this one, you're actually proactive, right? You are a proactive advisor. And you help them, what I call, look to the future. You help them look to the future so they can make better decisions in their business, so they can make better decisions in their lives, with their personal finances, with their business finances. And so all of this is going to allow you to charge more money when you're actually become, and you position yourself as a value advisor. Now, one thing it's definitely going to require you to do is increase your skill level, okay? You need to know how to do a budget and forecast. You need to know how to do an individual tax plan for a high net worth individual. You need to know how to do a business tax plan to see whether this client should be as a Schedule C versus a S Corp or versus a corporation. You need to know how to actually be of more value so you can charge more money. It's going to give you the permission, one, to charge more money. You're going to feel great and more confident because you would have invested in your knowledge and in yourself. And so here's where I'm leading up to, guys. So what I've done for you, I've created what's called a tax and accounting bootcamp bundle, okay? So what I want to do, I actually want to show you guys how to become that value advisor, how to increase your skill set so you can therefore charge more money, provide better service to your clients, and ultimately take on less clients, okay? So I would rather any day, all day, have 50 clients versus 500 clients and make the same exact money, okay? So here's what I did for you. It's called tax and accounting Bootcamp, okay? And this is for people who are ready to up-level their skills. So I'm gonna call this skills mastery, okay? And so what I've done, I've actually created a series of classes that's gonna actually help you increase your skill set. Learn how to do the things that I just told you about so you can charge for it. You can provide better service to your clients. You're gonna be more confident going to the marketplace offering your services. So here's what's included. You're gonna get the business tax planning bootcamp, okay? You're gonna get the enrolled agent business bootcamp. You're gonna get the financial coaching business. And I'm gonna teach you individual tax planning. So if you have like high net worth individuals, or even if you want to know how to provide better service, how you can help your clients reduce their tax liability or increase their refund, I'm going to include individual tax planning in this tax and accounting bootcamp skills mastery, okay? You're also going to get advanced tax preparation. So I'm going to show you how to do an S Corp, how to do a regular corporation, a C Corp, how to do a partnership, and how to do a nonprofit, which is the 990. Okay? So all of this is going to be in one boot camp, and I got some more stuff on here for you guys, okay? So we got the advanced tax preparation. I'm going to show you bookkeeping in detail. So that's going to be the bookkeeping business boot camp. Then we're going to go over budget and forecasting. This is where it's really going to help your clients make and save more money, right? Because you're actually going to be able to look to the future to actually help them project out into the future. You know, how much revenue are you expected to make? Where are our expenses? You know, are we looking to hire any additional employees? Are we looking to make any major purchases or acquisitions? And I'm going to be able to actually help you budget and forecast for your clients so you can help them make better decisions. Instead of being reactive as their bookkeeper or accountant, you're actually going to be able to help them budget and forecast for the future and make those better decisions. Okay, so that's going to be included. And then the last one is accounting. Okay, accounting procedures boot camp. Now, the truth of the matter is, we don't have time to go back to university, okay? I don't have time to go to university and, you say you're reading it backwards? I'm sorry. We don't have time to go to university, okay? So I created this program so you guys are able to walk through step by step, learn the strategies that you need to learn so you can go out, provide better service, and actually charge for it. Okay, and this boot camp is actually going to allow you to do that. So if you can't read it, I'm going to read it off for you. So included in the boot camp is the business tax planning, so you can actually help your clients that are business owners. Should they even be as a Schedule C? Should they be an S Corp? Should they be a C Corp? You know, what entity election makes better sense for them? And I'm going to give you all of the worksheets and the Excel spreadsheets that's included with that. And some of you guys may have seen that that actually went to the live class. You may have already experienced that class. So we actually expanded upon that to give you more information and more worksheets that you're going to actually be able to use to help your clients make that decision, or for you to advise your clients on that decision. Okay. Now, what else is included is the Enroll Agent Business Bootcamp for those who actually want to go for their EA status, the Financial Coaching Bootcamp, the Individual Tax Planning Bootcamp, the Advanced Tax Preparation. So if you want to know how to do an S Corp, how to do a C Corp, how to do a nonprofit, I'm going to include that in the bootcamp. I'm also going to have a very comprehensive bootcamp for bookkeeping. So if you want to increase your bookkeeping knowledge, if you want to make sure that you're doing bookkeeping right, you're going to have a very comprehensive boot camp on that. And then the last two is budget and forecasting and accounting procedures, so you can know without a shadow of a doubt how to actually be an advisor, you know, really interpret and advise on their financial statements, how to take on better clients, how to do that advanced tax preparation so you don't have to do 500 earned income tax credit clients. I don't want you guys to do that. Like, that's the old way. Like, now don't get me wrong. If you have 500 tax clients and they're all EITC or Schedule A, I'm proud of you. But would you like to learn how to get 50 tax clients and make the same amount of money? Absolutely. So this is what I want to teach you. I want to teach you how to work smarter and not harder, how to take on less clients but actually make more money because you're actually delivering more of those value added services. All right, guys, so I'll put the link in the description. This is actually a pre-sale until March 15th. So the classes in the boot camp will be completely open on March 15th. But the class is not, you know, it's not going to be cheap when it's actually live on March 15th. So what I'm doing for you guys, for only the people that actually follow me and my content, I'm giving you a ridiculous discount. Okay, so if you buy into the program now, you're going to get that steep discount. On March 15th, you're going to get access to the entire suite of services, and then anybody that buys after March 15th is going to buy at the complete full price. Okay. All right, guys, that's it. I'm about to hop on my coaching call with my clients, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.